So, hello everyone. Namaste, annyeonghaseyo. So today, I welcome you, all of you, in a ISRK session, which is University and Professor Funded Scholarship session. So today, I would like to invite all of the speaker of the sessions, Mr. Tinkun, who is a MS student in the Mechanical Engineering Department in Sogang University. Next, Ms. Nikita, PhD student in Chemical Engineering, Kyungi University Global Campus. Next is Dr. Prasad Reddy, who is a postdoctoral researcher in School of Chemical Engineering, University of Ulsan, and Dr. Mayur, who is an associate professor in Department of Earth Resources and Environmental Engineering, Hanyang University. So today's session is about university and professor funded scholarship. Let me begin with this session with the introduction of our ISRK. ISRK is an Indian student and researcher in Korea, is a non-profit voluntary organization in South Korea and researcher residing in South Korea and provide them educational research, social and job and community support. Our mission is to establish the largest community of Indian students and researchers in Korea with strong engagement and interaction opportunities. Our vision is to promote a larger, better life for an Indian student and a researcher in Korea. Let me share my screen with the glimpses of Indian student researcher in Korea. So before we begin to our next point, so I would like to introduce myself as a host of today's session. I am Dr. Prashant Kumar Sharma, postdoctoral fellow in Department of Electronics Engineering, Kangon University. So I'm working as a executive secretary in a student affair team in ISRK. So let me begin the session with the invitation to our speaker, Dr. Professor Mayur, Associate Professor, Department of Earth Resources and Environmental Engineering, Hanyang University. Dr. Mayur, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Prashant. I will share my screen now.
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome all of you to the ISRK Education and Employment session. Myself, Dr. Mayur Kurade. I am presently working as Associate Professor in Hanyang University. So before we begin, I would really like to thank ISRK Group for conducting such events and introducing a lot of activities in Korea and helping the Indian community in India as well as the other world outside the world of Korea. So to begin with, I would like to give a little bit of a brief, fun incident that when I came here in Korea back in 2015, at that time, a lot of people didn't know exactly about South Korea, and they only know that people are going to studies and employment for either USA or UK, Germany, Canada, like that. So for me, it was a little bit hard to explain to them that why South Korea and how where is South Korea. In fact, some of my relatives and friends even doesn't know exactly where is South Korea. They only know like US is the best picture. So when this now the span of almost like 8-9 years has been gone, and when I visited India last time, many of people know now what is South Korea because of thanks to that K-pop group BTS, and whether it is Blackpink or whatever. So wherever I go, they were like very excited to hear about Korean experience and just to talk about Korea. They even if when I go to my village, small hometown, even the kids there know the Korean group, that K-pop groups. So it was really fantastic to see South Korea is getting popular in the world because thanks to that K-pop group. But today we will talk about something else than K-pop. That why South Korea is also one of the modern country and what kind of other things they are provided. So just to before we dive into the topic, I will give a brief introduction about myself and why ISRK invited me for this session. So I did my PhD back in 2012 in Shivaji University in India, and since then I have been part of 2 foreign countries, including Hong Kong and South Korea. So basically, I have almost more than 10 years of experience of postdoctoral research, and I'm continuously, doing research at the same time. Now I'm one of the most senior member of my research center. So I'm also helping my advisor to, go through the recruiting process. In fact, we have around 25 research staff, and out of that, almost half of that group is Indian. So we are now and then recruiting a lot of people as a PhD students or postdocs, and I know some of the how the system is working in Korea regarding the applications and what they exactly look for. So this session is all about that, and we will go into a little bit more details that about the application process and how we can get employed in South Korea. But before we begin, let's go through some of the highlights of South Korea. So basically, I'm working in environmental microbiology, basically wastewater treatment, bioremediation, and bioenergy sector. And in this 15 years of research career, I have published almost like 100 research papers in well-known peer-reviewed international journals. My average impact factor is more than 10, and I have received over 6,000 citations and so on. You can go to my research profile if you want to know more about my research and those stuff. So first of all, why you should choose to listen to this ISRK webinars, and so why you can simply use your guru. These days in modern world, our guru is Google. Whatever you want, you just Google and you will get everything. So this, when you just Google that studying in South Korea, you will get something like this. Most of the time, these are the reason why you should go to Korea. Although these are facts, most of this is like relatively general information. Some are exaggerative, such as the South Korean tuition fees are and living cost is affordable. That's not true unless you have a scholarship and a regular income. Other than that, even the you can earn in South Korea while you are studying. That is also, I feel, that is exaggerative, because if you are working as a student or studying as a student or working full-time job, it is very hard to do a different job because of the nature of work. And some of the points are very touristic or short-term point of view, such as you can go to touristic spot and you can learn Korean, or you can have a chance to explore this Korean K-pop culture and so on. I feel this is like a touristic or like short-time point of view, and this is why you should listen to these ISRK webinars to hear the experienced researchers and professors what they have exactly in point of their mind, to give you more technical details that why South Korea is the better country. So I told you one of the reason that how K-pop has been getting more popular, and back in like 2010 there was one more song, Gangnam Style by Psy, that was getting very popular in the world. And this is it. This is the Gangnam district, which is one of the hotspot in Seoul city, which is the capital of South Korea. And this is one more tallest building in Asia, and in fact in the world. This is also part of Seoul, and this is the current status. But if you just look back and go back in the history, in 1980s, the Gangnam was like this. Barely there were some buildings and there was no development, not much development. In 1950, it was like very old style village style city. So since like 1980 to this time, how really South Korea grown this much fast? There are a lot of reasons. One of the reason is South Korea has export oriented policies. uh, in fact, the business startup is a little bit easier than compared to other countries, and the major policies is more like improvisation and incentivization for the innovating new technologies. And that's why whenever you talk about innovation and developing technologies, of course development will be there. South Korea has only like 100,000 of kilometer square area, which is in fact smaller than Telangana state, and it's 3 times smaller than Maharashtra state in India. So this country is very, very small. Still, how it develops so fast within like 30 or 40 years of span is because of these reasons just I mentioned about the innovation and technology development. So whenever we talk about innovation and technology development, it means we should talk about research and development, because the only way to innovate is through research. And if you just see the research and developmental intensity in South Korea, you can see it's very high compared to the first world countries, including Japan, Germany, and US and China. China is still lagging behind. Also, it is developing fast, but South Korea is getting top among all of them. So because of this development, there are a lot of investment is in semiconductor field, cars, petroleum products, automotive parts, and displays. And I should not give too much detail about these companies. Samsung, Hyundai, LG, Kia, POSCO. These are all top multinational companies, and it has very high reputation not only in Korea. I know it is even in India. It is one of the topmost brands, and all over the globe, these are fantastic companies. And simply, if you check the top companies of South Korea, in fact, this is the Fortune Global 500 list, and in that 500 list, in fact, 14 Korean companies are getting into that list. So for such small country, it is really great achievement to have this great companies in this country. So whenever we talk about these companies and these innovation and technology and modernization, is because of what? It's simply because of the basic education. And it's not only basic education. These days, South Korea is doing a lot of modern and advanced education. So the major fact is, unlike India or many other countries, South Korea, the governmental policies is like that. The government, industrial sector, all these companies, and even the academic community is working together in collaboration. Just for example, whatever happening in the industry, academic sector or research sector knows about that developments, and they are contributing to those companies' development. In fact, to just give you one example, there is one of the main department, automotive department in my university, Hanyang University, which is completely sponsored by Hyundai Motors for doing driverless cars. It is completely sponsored by that Hyundai Motors. So it is really fantastic to see that how the industry and university collaboration is really working well. So after the World War II, in fact, the literacy rate in Korea was only merely 22%. And if you check the current statistics, it's almost 98%. It is a huge educated people over here. And not only Korean population, South Korean government is tremendously working on how we can attract the foreign students and work in more collaborative way. So they have initiated one plan in 2015 to attract or to reach almost 200,000 international students by 2023. So you can see that how many students from the foreign countries are getting attracted to South Korea. However, you know that in 2020 and 2021, because of the COVID-19 and all the travel bans, it doesn't look like they have achieved this target, but they are very close to it. So let's talk about some of the educational institution in South Korea. So this is basically top 10 educational institute over here, including the best Seoul National University, which is the one of the best in the world. Yonsei, KAIST is one of the great institutions, and so on. There are many actually, including Hanyang University, Korea University, and Sonkukwan University. So basically, among these, there are total 370 official educational institutes, and among them, now among those 370, almost 7 universities are in top 25 entries in QS ranking, Asian ranking, and 89 universities are among that QS Asia University rankings, 2023 listings. And 41 universities are in fact ranked institution in QS World University rankings in 2023. I think India is somewhere around 140. But you just it is not easy comparison to compare India or any other country to South Korea. I told you that South Korea is a very small country. However, in that small country, 41 institutions are among the top QS world rankings. So it is fantastic. So these institutions, how they are developing so fast is because of the funding agency and the research developmental support from the South Korean government is really amazing, because this is all the graphs and statistics is from the National Research Foundation of Korea, which is one of the topmost research funding agency in South Korea. So if you look at the figure here, in 2022, South Korean government has funded almost like 8,000 million US dollars for the funding. And among that, if you just track it down, you can see that almost 31% is for the basic science and technology research, and 29% is for the national strategic research and developmental program. But more than that, what they are doing is they are spending more money on the human resources. It means academic staffs, and even to cultivate the postdoctoral research fellows and scientific staffs, they are investing more money on in that. And because of that, they are developing a lot of best research fellows. So let's look at their funding strategies. So here, if you just look at this figure, they are spending almost 5% of their annual GDP on the research and development. It looks like very small, but just compare here to the OECD nations. Over here, if you look at in this graph, if you compare this figure to the OECD nation, South Korea is ranking on the top, and the second rank is Japan, where their total GDP they are spending on the research and development is 3.24. If we just compare these two nations between rank 1 and rank 2, South Korea is spending 43% higher implementation of GDP compared to Japan. And if we talk about the number of personals working in research field, out of 1,000 citizens or residents in South Korea, almost 15 people are working in the research. So again, South Korea is ranking on the top list, followed by Germany. So compared to Germany, where they are only having 10 people out of 1,000 citizens working in the research, it means South Korea is promoting or using more citizens, almost 50% more citizens than Germany for the research and development. And because of that, the research or the publications South Korea is publishing is very, very high. So that's why they are the 12th highest ranking in the world in the publication list. And the cited, most of the researchers would know what I mean here, although it is very difficult for the students to understand this. There is a top 1% citation, the papers who received it. For that, South Korea is ranking among the 15th highest in the world. And when we talk about innovation and development, of course, South Korea is developing a lot of patents. And for that, just compared to the publication and all this, South Korea is 4th highest in the world to apply for the patents and get it registered. So it is really shows that South Korea is spending a lot of money and a lot of resources for patenting and innovation and development. So if we just see the research spending on different sectors, you can simply see that science and engineering sector, natural sciences and general engineering are utilizing more funding for their research. And it is obvious that science requires a lot of money because of the nature of the work. A lot of instrumentation and a lot of resources are required compared to other things. It doesn't mean that these other fields such as arts and physical education or interdisciplinary science or whatever, agriculture and oceanography doesn't have requirement of a lot of resources, human resources into that. Is because the people working in those sectors are very few, and still it means they will still have a lot of opportunities there because the competition is less, because not a lot of people working in this field compared to the science and engineering. So if we just divide this science and engineering funding in particularly to that, biotechnology and nanomaterial science is getting a lot of funding. So it means there is a lot of opportunities there, but at the same time competition will be higher, and followed by big science projects, including the space research projects, utilizing more funding into that. So finally, to just conclude that, I just showed you how South Korea has been developed within the 30-40 years is because of the great education or modern education system, and at the same time their policies for the innovation and development. So South Korea definitely a largest research and developmental hub. So can we use it as a transit hub? Now I will explain a little bit about what I mean by transit hub. For the Indians, as I told you, that we have dreamed to go to USA for education or even employment, because it's a very simple reason, because USA has the world topmost institution in the world. There is no doubt, followed by Europe and Canada. So it is very easier for those who are getting, who are getting graduated from the IITs or IISs to reach out to their dreams, because of the education they received, and at the same time the facilities and exposure they received in that institute. These are great institutions in the India, IITs. And a lot of even my boss says that whenever he sees any application coming from the IITs, he said the IIT candidates are the best one. It's because of that they have the more chance to go to those countries. So how about the state universities? Yes, they had to fight a lot, and they have to improve themselves, but going directly to the US is difficult for them. So it is much more easier than US to come back to Korea. Once you come here to Korea, just learn, absorb all the skills, improve your skills. Along with that, diversify with the culture, because whenever you mix with other cultures, it will open up your different perspective, and it will make you more wise person. And once you do that, your skills are improved, your publications and patents are getting improved, you are getting much more technical aspects of your field, then definitely you will get better opportunities in US, Canada, let's say Europe or Germany. Or simply, after improving your skills, you can decide to go back to our home country. I have seen many people in these 8 years who are getting very great opportunities in US, around in Europe, as well as a lot of people I know personally, they have received the prestigious fellowships in India as well, such as Inspire fellowships and Ramanujan fellowship. So it is a great to have this experience in Korea, and then improve ourselves, and move to the next step of the ladder. So thank you all of you for listening and going through these technical details. If you have any questions, please reach out to me in the question and answer session, or you can even contact me on my email to know more about South Korea. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Mayur, for your nice talk. So in this session, I would like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Tinku, who is pursuing MS in Mechanical Engineering from Sogang University. So, Mr. Tinku, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, I'll just go. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mayur sir, for your introduction of the why South Korea choosing, and it was like a long thing. You have such a lot of things, and you have given a lot of information. And thank you, ISRK, for inviting me as a speaker, and thank you, audience, for having me. My name is Tinku Nayak, and I just completed my master's, not pursuing, I just recently, in the major of mechanical engineering at Sogang University. Like in Korea, they say Sogang is tough, but I'm not sure. So I just want to complete and then go. So before going to the session, I just want to introduce about my research work. I was worked on the colorimetric photonic crystal sensors. So it's basically integration of the microfluidics and photonic crystal sensors. So, and recently we have published a paper. So this is my master's thesis. And here is our Professor Park Jong-yu. He was very friendly and nice, kind. And so as for this session was for professor funded and then research fellowships. So first thing, how to find a professor. So we can just find in different ways. So I just want to explain what are the ways we can find your research guide or the professor, like your suitable professor. So there are many ways. So first thing, you can just search by your faculty page. If you go to the university admission page, and then in the departments, and then you will go to the faculty pages, and then you can find it in different professors which are working on different research areas. So, or else, if any one of you know personally in the same university or in the same lab, so they can also recommend you. So, by that, through that criteria, also you can get a position, or by any professional media like LinkedIn. Some of the professor they posted the vacancies. So, through that also you can find it. What are the positions or opportunities you can find it? So, you just need to follow up there, or through social media like some of the pages in FB. So some of the known persons they posted what are the in Telegram also. So if there are any positions they posted, and through that one also you can find it and teach us that. Or else some university advertised fellowships are there, so through that you can apply. So for that, definitely you need to search in Google. So yeah, so these are the ways of them. And I just want to explain how to approach a professor and how to search through faculty web page. So the first step is select your university. So based upon, as my user said, so based upon the QS ranking, so just select a good university. And once you selected the university, and in the university web page, go to the department page, and in the departments, according to your department, like my department was mechanical engineering, so I just went through the mechanical engineering department page. Once I click, and in the department there is a faculty section. So once you find that faculty section, so go through the each individual faculty sections. So in some of the university faculty lab web page, so they directly mention what are the interests, like research interests, directly they mention, so that you can just find out what are the suitable thing. But in some of the university pages they didn't mention the research interest, they just mention the names and then their contact. So you have to go through each professor individual pages, so and you need to find out. So once you find out the profile, so go through the personal web page and explore the research work first. So is that your like exact research work matches with the professor what he's working currently? And explore all the things like his way of the publications, each year publications and the lab members. And also explore the vacancies section if you find any vacancies. And some professors didn't update their personal lab web page, so you can just reach out to professor if your research work matches with the professor work what he's doing. So my work was like photonic crystal and also microfluidics. So I found a professor who is working on electrochemical and also the microfluidics part. So some professors work on multidisciplinary research work. So likewise you need to find out, and if you feel like you that research work matches with your research work, then you can just reach out by mailing to the professor, because every professor checks their mail every day. So just you need to reach out which they have mentioned. So they just you need to write a mail with a short and clear along with your documents which are required, because and the CV they have to see, right? So along with your CV and SOP, and additionally some transcript if you send, that is better. So they can mention, they can check your transcripts, and based upon the GPA also they will consider sometimes. So likewise you can for masters in bachelors they don't consider if you have any publications or not. But for PhD, if you apply for that, they will consider at least the master's level, whether if you had many publications, and then they will consider as a first preference. Even GPA also matters. So once this is a more like process of searching a professor through university web page, and once it was done, and how to write a mail. So the points has to consider while writing the mail to the professor. So not much professor just check every mail. So some professors luckily if you are lucky then they can just check and then reply very immediately, but some professors not, and they can check, but if professor didn't feel that you are suitable then just ignore. So likewise you need to approach a lot of professors, not only one professor. If you reach out more and more professors, so maybe any one of the professor can reach out you, and then you can get a reply. So without any like confusion type, not much of lengthy mail, just make it effective. And first thing is like subject line. You need to make sure the effective and clear subject line. And once it was done, and maybe make it very simple and straight email body, because if you make it very lengthy email body, it was they also don't consider, right? So they will take time. So if you make mention any straight thing, what you are going to do and what's the subject of your mail email. So if he find out that this is the purpose of his mail, then it is very easy, and they can go through your CV or SOP and transcripts also. So, and also mention your area of interest and proposal. Means if you have any idea to work on the same research area, if you just mention the topic of it, so they will just get interest. Okay, he's proposing some idea, maybe he has some proposal. So likewise, they can also consider and then go through your profiles. So that is also main thing, because if you may have a lengthy mail, it is not even good, which I feel. And also lastly, along with your email, you need to upload your CV and also statement of purpose, and also your transcripts and letter of recommendation. If he asks, like some professors, after replying, they will ask you, just send me any letter of recommendations or the transcripts also to consider the GPA. So likewise, previously, like for safe side, you can attach each documents, but main documents you need to attach is CV, your curriculum vitae. I can suggest some of the websites for a good templates, so you can have a good, even as I mentioned, the first impression is the best impression. So if you have a good CV templates, so it will be also good, right? So maybe for me, I just use Overleaf and then kickresume.com, these websites for a good templates, where even from these websites also, most of the people got jobs in different sectors. So that's why I'm just suggesting this one. So just select any template and then edit it. So that is also good for that, not like any type of CV. And also a brief SOP. So that will be included, and how to write a SOP, that can be explained by another speaker. So these are the points you need to consider while mailing to the professor. And we are talking about the this professor funded, and then a lot of things, right? And what are the benefits we can get it from this one? So the first benefit is like, if you have the professor funded, so they will also provide you a tuition fee waiver, means like a fellowship, right? So you don't need to pay any tuition fee. The professor will includes every of it, they'll pay themselves. And also they'll provide the stipend from the projects, means they have a lot of projects from the industrial sectors, they will pay you definitely, along with the tuition fee and also stipend. So it's like a free of cost, because you're working in a laboratory and also in a work project. So they will pay for you as a tuition fee and also stipend. And also the main benefit is like you can work on real-time research work, and then in like the real-time industrial R&D sectors, industrial projects. So because most of the people which I have seen, they have worked with the Samsung, LG. So those companies which are have the main projects works. So that's, you can have a lot of contacts, also a lot of communications, and you can improve your skills how to make a research work. So after that, you can not only you can work on your main research work, you can explore the lot of research works. As I mentioned, most of the people professors not only work in a particular research work, they have multidisciplinary. So you can work on a lot of research works, not only in one particular research work. So maybe that you can have the chance to work in different sectors of your research. And also you can explore new place, new culture, and you get a chance to work with the renowned professors. And also it is a good place to explore, and also you will get a lot of communication, and also you can learn the skills. So along with these laboratory benefits, yeah, there is also, if you not only Korea, if you go any country, there is definitely there is a benefit which you can explore the many places. So South Korea is one of the tourist place, so which you can explore as many as places you can, if you're a good traveler. So along with that, you can get used to have a new tradition, because as like we have the tradition and culture, so Korean cultures, and we are we can explore the tradition culture. And also we can have the Korean foods, because of the new food. and also you can make a lot of new friends also. So likewise, I can personally felt it feels like a personal benefits. So along with this one, so once it was done, you are like, if you get the reply from your professor and if he accept it, so he will just send you a financial document and also confirmation letter. So with that one, you need to apply again for the admission requirement, admission, because it's like professor accepting a professor in a laboratory is one part, but after accepting, then you need to apply again to the admission, like in the university as an enrolled student for masters or PhD. So for that one, so main documents requirements are the online application form, which is available in the graduate admission section. If you go into the website of each university, they will provide you, and also the guidelines will be definitely provided in both languages: Korean, English, Chinese, Japanese, lot of languages there are. So once you download and then follow up the what are the guidelines and how to follow the application process. So likewise, each date they will mention, so just follow that. And also you need to first fill up your online application form. Along with that one, you need to have bachelor's degree. Like if you are going to apply for master's degree, so it is apply for bachelor's degree. And also for PhD, both degrees are needed with the apostille, like attestation on backside of the each certificate, and also transcripts and letter of recommendations as definitely needed. And also if you have a good means, it's better to have a good GPA in your previous degrees, so that sometimes when you have this tough competition, so they will also consider a GPA, right, to filter it out. So I'm just maintain a good GPA of more than 85% is better. And also the because a lot of countries are asking for other language certificates and also some the GRE scores, but South Korea don't ask for GRE. It just needs some IELTS or TOEFL or TOEIC. Any exam is fine. So based upon the criteria of the minimum requirements, so the minimum requirement for the IELTS is like 6.5 or even 6 also they can consider. And also TOEFL. So if you have the 90 points, so this is the main minimum criteria. So having the any of these language certificate, you can apply. And also for PhD, as I mentioned, if you have the publication in your master's degree, it will be a beneficial, and also it will be helpful for your admission also for a consideration. And also along with your statement of like personal statements, so what you are, and then what's your proposal, or what's your research interest, so which was included in SOP, and along with your CV, and all proof of citizenship like your passport, you need to have considered that one. So as I mentioned, there are 4 seasons in Korea. So each season has different admission guidelines and different admission deadlines also. So the spring semester starts in March. So the application procedure starts from October to February. And also there is another admission, so which is in summer admission. So where you so once it was done, you can just follow up the each admission guidelines and also deadlines. According to that, prepare your documents and then apply for it. And then fall semester, which is starts in September, so that we are the admission period is from April to August. If you are applying in the, if you are going to apply in the September for fall semester, then you have to, the admission start from April, means application form, and then they will have the different deadlines for submitting the documents and making things. So it will, the admission process takes April to August. And also the winter semester, which starts around in December. So these are the 4 admissions which they consider. The like summer and winter, they consider actual admission process. So the main was like spring and then fall semesters. So those the application deadlines and also the application procedure, application requirements, if you consider and then apply, maybe you can definitely get it. If you get it, like if the professor accepted and give you a financial document and along with the confirmation letter, so you can apply it. And then once you get the admission, then you can apply for the visa. So once it was the visa done, you can just reach to Korea directly. So as I mentioned, once you've done your masters. So many people ask, is there any job opportunities there, or just pursuing a degree or not? So like my user said, there are a lot of opportunities in companies like industrial sectors, and also in professional like academic sector also. A lot of people are working as a assistant professor or associate professor, and in even industries also, a lot of people are recruited. And some of which I heard, there are a lot of lab recruiting programs also, because they come directly to the from the, because in our university we have the options. So from industrial sector they will come, and then select members from lab. So that's the process called lab recruiting. And also university recruiting program. So they will consider the like placements, we can say campus placements also. So once you just attend, and then you can make it. Or if you want to apply personally, and some companies, they consider if you have the Korean language, that will be beneficial. And some consider, okay, maybe in their company, if they have a foreigner, which can it will be also good for them. So that is also some, it's depends upon the company, which can they consider as a Korean known person or English known person. So that depends upon it. And also you can apply through some of other job portals, like in Korea we have Saramin, and also LinkedIn and Jobs in Korea. A lot of websites which you can upload your profile, and then wait for your calls. The same thing which happened. And once you talk about the admission and everything, and how much a professor can provide, like we can say the tuition fee is they can pay. So how much the stipend they can, the minimum stipend they can provide. So as for I know, so in Seoul, it's like it's a capital city, so it's most of expensive. So that's why the minimum I can say, the minimum or stipend which a professor can give to a student is from $800 to $900, which is 1.1 to 1.2 million won. In Korea, the currency is won. So, and also not only just it's a fixed one each year, because of the having industrial benefits and research allowances. So they will increase each year like $100 or that depends upon the professor. So everything is depending upon the professor. Some of the professor can give very less, some of the professor they can give more also, because to encourage the students, which they have more funds also. So as I'm mentioning, so stipend is also depends upon the professor, so like the amount of the stipend, so you can get as much as more also. So likewise, and also if you talk about the expenses, so in Seoul, as I mean, it's costly. So the rent will be from $400 to $500 if you are want to stay single, and you can have, if you just share the room with your known friend, so you can get reduce your expenses also. And in southern region, which I heard, in Daegu or Busan, in those places the rents are very less, cheaper, so like 200 to $300. And travel is much cheaper here, so you don't want to expect much. So you can travel, if you are like a good traveler and want to explore more places, then it can be more expensive. And these expenses is all depends upon us only, like how much we can spend and how much we want to do. So likewise, but traveling is transport is very cheap here. And also food. So if you are a like foodie, then you can eat outside, so that will be more expensive. And also if you want to make it at home, so you can reduce. So but the minimum you can assume to be approximately $250 for one person, I'm saying. It's not like a full whole, not whole family. So these are the expenses. So these are the expenses which is also depend upon it. If you want to, we can reduce it. And this is all about, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tinku, for your enlightening about like how you can approach the professor for the fellowship. So in this session, I would like to invite our next speaker, Ms. Nikita. She's pursuing her PhD in chemical engineering from Kyunghee University Global Campus. So I welcome Ms. Nikita.
Hello everyone, I am Nikita Khairnar from Maharashtra, India. I came to Korea in March 2021. I'm currently pursuing the PhD degree in chemical engineering of Kyunghee University Global Campus. My lab name is Molecular Chemical Laboratory. I'm working on OLEDs and perovskite LEDs. Today, I am going to tell you how to write the SOPs and the cover letter, and how is the lab culture in Korea. So starting with the statement of purpose. So you should start with introducing yourself briefly, like your name, where you are from, and your family, like your whole family background. That is your how many members in your family and what they do. Then you can mention about your bachelor's and master's universities or the institutions. I did my master's in Shivaji University of Kolhapur, and my major was nanoscience and technology. Mm, uh, then how many publications do you have? Like, sorry, yeah. Then how many publications do you have? Like, 1, 2, 3. I was having 3 publications in my master's. If you don't have the publications, then you can write about your master's research work that you have done in the in form of project or something. You then you should then give the overview of your master's research, like write about why do you want to do the PhD, your motivation. uh, for me, it was like I always fascinated the doctor in front of my name, so that was the my motivation. And I also had the research background, so I wanted to do the more further work in the electronics. I really liked doing research. Then I had the future plans very clear. Like I wanted to do the work in the R&D companies, or wanted to start my own startup when I come to India, or I am always having the second option as doing postdoc. Then you can write about the specific research area. For me, it was like I have worked on the nanoscience and technology. I'm very good in handling the nanomaterials, so I was flexible to do work in the material related field, but specifically I chose the OLEDs because I wanted to do something different in OLEDs and work further in perovskite LEDs. So the most interested part is you should choose by your interest. That I have heard that after coming here, it is very hard to get like used to get used to adjust the lab culture or the lab work, because you did different work in your masters and you are doing here the work is different. So sometimes it happens you did not know the details of doing work in every way. So try to choose a lab according to your interest and your work. Then at last you should consider uh, why you should consider to write why you choose the Korea country. As Mayur sir already described, you can write all those points, but technically you should write about how Korea and Korean technology and the Korean culture is very attractive and uh, increasing widely worldwide. That would make your SOP more attractive to consider. Then the cover letter. So basically, when you write the cover letter, it's just like writing a letter to professor. So start with the greeting to your professor and tell him about yourself. And next paragraph, and in the next paragraph, write your name, and tell about yourself, your previous university name, which degree you have, and in short tell him which in short tell him about your research. Is it published or not? And if it is published, then write the journal name and write the advisor name. Then next, write about why you are interested to do PhD in specific lab. In short, write about the lab which is suitable for your research, and it is easy for you to get selected in the lab. Then next, write about what can you do if you get selected in that lab. So tell them which research problem you can work on and your research ideas, so that they will consider your application. For example, a short idea about your future research. In my case, I was familiar with nanotechnology, so it was easy for me to work in nanotechnology field in any application. Lastly, you can attach your resume, and if you have research paper, please attach it to the email and send the email to the professor. And you can use this one trick, like the professors in South Korea uh, usually check their mails in the morning time after reaching their office. So try to mail according to the South Korean time, 9 a.m. So it will be noticeable, because there are lots of mail in professor's mailbox. So they sometimes even don't reply or don't consider your mail. But when they open and your application comes first, or first 5, they can consider your application first. So consider it as the cherry on the cake. Then the lab culture. The main thing is professor. There are two kinds of professor. Some are friendly and some are strict in the nature, with so many advantages and bit of disadvantages. Because of few friendly professors, either you work well with the positivity, or you or you get you just get lazy, that you can do work afterwards, because professor is not saying anything. So it's up to you that you should choose the first option. The second thing is the second possibility is either the in case of strict professor, the two possibilities are like, either you will work under lots of pressure and cannot concentrate in the work, because of that you can get more like more stress, and or you can concentrate in your work and do more, because professor is strict. You have to do the work and finish it early to show it in the lab meetings. So it is take it as an advantage and publish many papers in less time. Then the professor is the one who decides everything. So please try to investigate before coming here. With the help of known people in Korea, try to search that how is the professor and how is his nature. So it will be better for you after coming here, because sometimes people don't look for it, and after coming here they find it very hard to adapt, and they just leave. So this is the main point. While choosing the professor, please be careful. Then the lab meetings. The main purpose of lab meeting is to help you get the confidence and improve your presentation abilities. This concept varies from lab to lab actually. So sometimes some labs are having weekly meetings, weekly once meetings. In my case, I have weekly once meeting, that is like group meeting. There are few labs where you have to present weekly in group meeting also, and you have the personal meeting also. Like one-to-one with professor. And the group meetings are just for people to get to know that what our lab mates are doing, and give the suggestions. If you have any problem, everyone can suggest that what can you do with that problem. So it is sometimes beneficial, not sometimes, I think every time. Then the lab lunch and dinners. uh, the main point is they don't talk about work in the lab lunch and dinners. They avoid the work talks. Once in a month, basically all the labs have lab lunch or dinners. Mostly, uh, even if they don't have monthly, then at least in 6 months, two lunch or dinners are always there. If you, it's also dependent on your professor. And in the lab lunch or dinner, professor even talk about your dating life and suggest you to date and explore the Korea, make friends, and they talk about your health and family. So it is very good and friendly. It is for to create a friendly environment in the laboratory. Then the lab work. The working culture of in Korea is little different than India. Some labs have the timings of coming and going. Some don't have it, but usually it is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. compulsory. It's totally dependent on your professor again. Sometimes you have to work even on the weekends and sometimes overnight. You have to skip your lunch, sometimes dinner for the work and to show results in every lab meeting, because you have to show in lab meeting that you have what you have did in the recent 6 days. So to get the results, you have to work so much here. And if you want to skip the lab meeting, you have to give a valid reason. Either you are sick or some valid reason to not present in the lab meeting or to avoid it. The lab equipments. Basically, after joining the lab, professor give you some time to get adjust and learn about everything. In that time, try to learn each and every equipment in your lab with the help of your lab mates or by yourself. Usually, laboratory has their own characterization equipment. Try to use them all by yourself so that you will not be dependent on anyone. Then the last point is lab mates. As we have came to the new country, we should try to take initiative to talk to them, even with the use of translators, or show some efforts towards them, and they will help you in many manners, and be friendly with you, take you to the some lunch or dinner, or uh, they will have some friendly conversation about lab or the professor. Don't always complain that your lab mates aren't friendly and they are not talking to you. You have to take the initiative because you have came so far out of your comfort zone, and you are new to them. uh, Sometimes they don't talk to you because they don't really speak English very well. They feel embarrassed to talk to you because they feel like they will make some mistake and you will make fun of them. So try with simpler way. Try to learn some Korean phrases. Try to talk to them with those phrases, or use some app, or use the simple English words that they can understand. So I hope this information will help you guys. Thank you, ISRK, for watching.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Nikita, for enlightening about how you can write SOPs and the cover letter and lab culture as well. So in this today's talk, I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Prasad Reddy, who is working as a postdoctoral researcher in a chemical engineering school, University of Ulsan. So before inviting, I would like to enlighten that we will have a Q&A session at the last of today's talk. If you have any question to regarding anything with the any of our speaker, you can ask or feel free to ask in a chat box as well. So I would like to invite Dr. Prasad Reddy.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. So,
Yes. Yeah. So thank you for your introduction, Mr. Prashantji. So I'll be sharing my screen now. So can you see this? Hello?
yes, please. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone. So myself Prasad Reddy, I'm working as a postdoctoral researcher in University of Ulsan. So firstly, I would like to thank the previous speakers, Dr. Mayorji, Tinkuji, and Nikita ji. It was very informative and they made my work easier. So now I'll be sharing my experience in applying the postdoc positions in South Korea. So firstly, search how to search for the sorry. So yeah, so how to search for the positions. So like searching postdoc position is quite different from searching PhD or MS positions. So in PhD or MS, you can apply or explore any field without any experience in it. So you get some time to learn the work in PhD or MS. But coming to the postdoc, most of the professor expect you to start the work without any delay. So you should be cautious while applying. Also, especially so you can search for the position especially by reading the appropriate articles while doing your work and then searching their faculty profiles. So most of the faculty post their post the vacancies in the lab in their faculty profiles, and then you can see many advertisements on social media such as LinkedIn, Twitter, ResearchGate, etc. Also, you can get some reference from your supervisor or members of your lab who were working in other countries. Also, you can have many researcher communities such as Google groups and PSIK communities, etc. So, uh, my work is basically on computational catalysis, so uh, which is related to the quantum chemistry and all. So this PSIK site is very useful for who are doing the computational, the quantum mechanics part in physics, chemistry, material science, or chemical engineering departments. Then, so after searching, you need to mail them. So you can get the email address from their website. So writing a mail, like the first thing is the body of the email. So here there is a sample body of the letter you can see. So firstly, introduce yourself, like what's your name and where you have done your PhD, and under the supervision of the professor. And then you just write that you are exploring, like you are writing mail to the explore the postdoctoral fellows in their groups, and then mention briefly about your expertise. Like here, as I am a computational researcher, I have written like something like whatever the softwares I have worked in the PhD, I have mentioned here. And you can write the papers that you have published in the PhDs. And also, so finally you just write that that your expertise fits to their research, and you are really interested to join their labs. Then attachment, coming to the attachments, the first one is covering letter. So in covering letter, firstly write about the purpose of your email. So that is basically to explore a postdoctoral position, and then give your details. So next, give the details about your PhD, what the work carried out during the your PhD, and then and also apart from PhD, you might be expertise in some of the things like handling the equipments or some like the softwares. You may know few softwares or coding knowledge, or you might be mentoring your MS or BTech or MTech students. So you can write all these things in this section. And then finally, you just write about yourself, like how confident you are to show like why someone should consider you. So this is basically the cover letter. And next, coming to the attachments. So you just write about your educational qualifications from your PhD. And here I would like to add one point that most of the professors in South Korea, they look for the candidate who have successfully defended the thesis. So sometimes, so if you are not graduated, like you have not, if you are not defended, so they may wait for some time, or they give the opportunity to others. So in my case, so I was I got the opportunity, this postdoc opportunity before I defended my thesis. And also my professor wait for me around 3 to 4 months. So that's good thing in my case. So in CV, you need to write about your educational qualifications, then research experience. So apart from PhD, if you have any experience in working somewhere else for a short time, like 6 months or 1 year, or any postdoc already you have done, you can write here. And then write the highlights of your work carried out during the PhD, MTech, and then BTech. And then skills, write about the skills, like whether you can handle some equipments or server, your coding skills. And most importantly, you just write everything, whatever you know, like without knowing. If you write, so in interview, there is like they can ask any questions on like what you don't know. So please be careful while writing the while writing the CV. And then if you have any fellowships, if you got any fellowships and achievements, and then most importantly, the publications you can add here. And then the conferences, different conferences you have attended. And if you have also, if you have mentored any students, so you can give their name and then thesis title, so that they will get to know, like apart from PhD, you have worked in different sections. So lastly, the references. So these, please be careful with your references. If you are writing anyone references, be sure that you have like you had a conversation with that professors, and then give their names in the references. So like in South Korea, like the professors need really good references for your like for getting the opportunities of working here. And in interview, so in interview, the time, like the interview takes place minimum from 30 minutes to 1 hour. So in the first 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have a casual interaction with the professor to make you comfortable. And then he will ask you to present your work. So make a presentation with 10 to 15 slides, about take about 15 minutes explaining your research. And then in question sessions, in the question session, so he can ask the both the technical and then HR questions. So technical, you already have known, like whatever you have done in the PhD, so there won't be any problem. In HR also, like they may ask like why you want to pursue PhD, or something like that, why you want to join their lab, or coming, why you want to come to the Korea. So like this casual question they used to ask. And then finally, you may get some time to ask him like the professor the questions about the lab or salary, etc. So finally, I would like to say that apply more, be attentive and confident during the interviews, and be patient and hope for the best. So yeah, so thank you for giving this opportunity to share my experiences. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Prasad Reddy about writing a cover letter and how to approach email with a impressive email to professor. So in this regard, I would like to continue our session with the Professor Dr. Mayur.
Yeah.
Who's
Thank
working
you.
as a, yeah, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. First of all, I would like to thank Nikita, Tinkuji, and Prasad. Yeah, they set me very nicely. I don't need to explain much more now because CV and those things and application have been well covered here. But I will give you some little bit differences and key things which the applicants can do here. So for this particular presentation, I will talk about the application process and how we should approach throughout this process. So basically, when we talk about postdoctoral position in South Korea, basically there are two different routes, either to acquire with the postdoctoral fellowships. There are certain fellowships such as Korea Research Fellowships and Brain Pool program. Recently, actually, Korea Research Fellowships and Brain Pool program has been merged, but still they have a lot of opportunities and they provide the fellowships starting from short duration such as 6 months up to 10 years program for the much more experienced researchers. So it is a very nice package for the advanced research, including very good salary package, but it is very highly competitive. Secondly, I guess these kind of fellowships have been covered by the ISRK group or in a separate session. So let's directly offered positions for usually my introductory presentation that in Korea there are a lot of fundings have been given, or usually they give from the National Research Foundation of Korea, and as well as there are a lot of industrial and private funding agencies to conduct their private research. So funding has been not a big problem in Korea. Professors usually do have a lot of fundings from the governmental as well as the private sectors. So from those fundings, they can support the human resources, including the students as well as postdoctoral fellowships. I know that the Tinku and Nikita has been they have covered these applications, especially for the master and PhD students, and Prasad also set me very nicely for the postdoctoral fellowships. So let's see what we can do. Although these points have been covered, but let me give very briefly run through this slide. So the first and the best option to search for the available researcher jobs in Korea is through the recommendations. So either you can look for your PhD supervisor if he has any collaborations or network in South Korea. He can suggest you some professors, and if you have immediate lab seniors who have been settled here in Korea and acquired some postdoctoral fellowship when you are doing your doctoral studies there in India, they can directly recommend you to their labs. Because in Korea, if someone is working really well and his chemistry is matching really well with the professor will usually like to hire more students from his lab, home lab, because he thinks that the chemistry matches really well, and his PhD advisor has been produced great candidates. So usually this route works really well if you have some recommendations from your senior members here in Korea. Of course, social media platforms are there: LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. ISRK group is doing fantastic job in this aspect to post some vacancies in South Korea. So you can always link to those groups. Of course, we do have ResearchGate and some job searching websites, including Science Career, Nature Career, academic and researcher jobs in Korea. Particularly to search jobs in South Korea, I would recommend to I will just drag my pointer. Okay. So particularly in South Korea, you can use this arjk.net website. In this website, usually they provide a lot of vacancies, including the faculty vacancies in South Korea, specifically targeted for South Korea. So this is one of the good one. if you do not have such recommendations, or if you do not have a specific plan to go for a particular lab and you don't know about South Korea, then you have to manually search the researcher vacancies and research labs. So basically, in my first presentations, I showed you what are the top most universities and research institutes in Korea. So you can try to, first of all, check with the top 10 universities for the better career. And once you have the university web page, then look for specific departments and then specific professors who are working relevantly close to your research topic. And then once you get their email address, just, you can directly approach them, or just try to visit their web page and try to see whether they have any jobs opening. Then you can apply through those jobs opening. This is, a little bit a very time consuming way, because you don't know who is exactly working in which topic, because you are searching first the universities and then looking for departments and then professor. So the second option is much more faster, which will give you more idea on who are the professor or researchers working in your own field. So these researchers tools are Scopus and Web of Science. So I will give you one example of Scopus here. So Scopus is actually a very good database platform to provide you all the publications and authors, and a lot of data sets is available there. So basically, in this website, you can see, you can search the documents, and here you can see that the search within article title, abstract, or keywords. So just to give you an example, I want to search who are the people working on the bioenergy field. So I give this bioenergy keyword into the search field. And then when I hit the search, you will get these kind of publications and the author list and even the journal information where they publish. In the right side, you can see, you can, filter based on your interest. So for example, country and territory, you can see there are a lot of countries available. And if you see view all, it will also give you South Korea in there. So you just click on this South Korea and then just limit to this search. And then you will get who are the professor or what are the publications coming out of South Korea. And then you will know who are the top researchers in that particular field. And then you can try to search about that author and then see whether he has any vacancies or not, if you have any email access. Usually you will get, once you know who is the author of that particular paper, you will know that his contact details. One more hint here, I would like to mention the year. When you search like this, also, try to search within last 5 years, because those are the most active researchers in the current status. Don't try to search very older form, because we don't know whether these researchers are still working in the same field what you are looking for. So when you now know that I have identified who are the professors and who are the researchers are working in my field, then I should approach them and ask them about the vacancies and possible opportunities to work with them. So basically, there are two important documents: is cover letter and curriculum vitae. And supplementary attachments, you can go with the research statements. Some professors ask you to give you research statements or research summary. So just try to go through some of the details of cover letter, although these points have been covered in last 3 presentations, but I will give you some brief idea about that, more details of it. So basically, before you begin to write the cover letter, try to do research that what that professor or researcher is working in, what kind of field, what are his expertise, what kind of publications he has produced in which journals, and try to see on his website whether he had some future projects. Even they provide the projects which are going on. So mostly professor want to hire the people who can work in those projects, in the current ongoing projects. So once you know that, you will have more idea that what kind of candidates he is looking for, and then try to write cover letter according to that. Basically, when they upload the advertisement about the openings, then there might be professor is usually very busy, as mentioned earlier. That's why he appoints someone, a senior staff member or his clerk, to do these kind of things, and those particular contact details are given there. So if the job vacancy details is advertised, then try to write to the right person, not directly to the professor. So see who is advertising and try to write to that person. Usually, work well for writing attention grabbing introductions. So these are the most important cover letter formats. Basically, you can separate your cover letter in 3 to 4 paragraphs. Mostly the first paragraph we should talk about from where did you hear this opportunity and what motivated you to apply for this position. For example, I would start with my PhD in biotechnology and experience in environmental microbiology motivated me to apply for this position because XXX, because of you are looking for this kind of things, and that I am very relevant to this research expertise. Then when you move on to the second paragraph, try to elaborate a little bit on your professional and qualification. Where did you do your PhD? What kind of research you did? In a very keyworded manner. Don't try to elaborate too much. Please note that your cover letter should not exceed beyond 1 page. So very specifically write your second paragraph. Try to provide some keyword which will notify the expertise in the field which you are working, and also provide some key evidence on that. In the third paragraph, you can elaborate on the major achievements you have achieved, some kind of awards or the highlighted key publications you have published so far. You can try to mention about that. And other than that, additional relevant activities you can also mention, such as if you are teaching or if you are editorial board member somewhere, or if you are reviewer for the journals, you can mention that. And in the last on fourth paragraph, try to mention that why you are interested in this position and why you are the guy who is the best fit for this particular position. Then you try to compare that I have expertise in this particular field and you can utilize in this particular position or in your particular this project, and show your confidence and try not to put the ball in their court. What does that mean is usually we should not mention that I am just waiting for your thing. You just try to mention that if you require, I will try to have more communication, or I will engage some Zoom meeting, or I will make a telephonic conversation with you if you want to know more about me. And of course, I'm open for collaboration as always, and I'm sure that you will be happy to engage some discussions like that. So try to show your confidence in this paragraph and end your cover letter in the positive manner. Curriculum vitae, although Prasad mentioned some of the details of it, your CV should be very appealing, and do not use long paragraphs in your CV. It should be very systematic, presented in a bullet format. Do not include too much excessive personal information, such as what is your age or ethnicity, what is your religion, whether you are married or not. It doesn't really matter. They are mostly looking for professional experience, not your personal details. So don't add too much information about your personal things. And basically, you can use this format. Always start with your name and contact information. And in Korea, the style is usually they like to see your photo in your CV. This is not the format for the mostly US-based jobs, but country to country, the CV format changes. So try to include your photo just beside your contact information. And the second important thing is, after this, try to talk about your education and qualification, followed by your professional experience. And the most important thing is research publications. In Korea, they like to look into your research publications, how many publications you have published, how good the journals are. So try to focus on this particular thing, that research publication, book chapters, or if you have patents, if you have honors, this is the most important part, which they are more interested in. And followed by the other information, conference, teaching, professional activities, what are instrumentation, and what software skills you have, something like that. And at the end, you can mention about your references and their contact details. I would like to mention some of the key details here. I'm using this kind of format in my CV. For example, you can look here that I'm trying to first see the current status. Always start with the current positions. Do not put your old first. It should be in this way. The latest one should appear first. So where you are working, the department, university, if it is good university, for example, Hanyang University is one of the top global universities, so I'm highlighting that the global ranking, and the most important, my designation, and just try to mention some of the key details of what kind of work you are doing here, because usually they would like to know what research you are doing in that particular position. Another thing is, as I said, the research publications are so much important. So try to highlight these points. It is very important in South Korea if you are talking about your publication records and how good publications are those. Average impact factor, H index, and citations is very important. And one more key detail is in South Korea, if you are the journal names, it's not enough sometimes, because I may not be really I may not know that particular journal. So talk about what is this impact factor. Other than the impact factor, also talk about whether it's SCI, it's Q1 category, or it's Q2 or Q3, and JCR ranking, like top 3% or something like that, top 5, top 10%. It will give them more clarity on what kind of quality publications you are producing. So always provide this information. It is very necessary. And try to make your CV integrative. For example, try to use Dropbox to upload your research paper in there, and try to provide that open link into this. So in my CV, whenever I send, if they want to read this publication, simply they can click here and they can read my publication without having, if they don't have subscription also, they can access this publication. So try to use Dropbox for that. I'm using Dropbox. There are many other alternatives for that, but try to provide these publications right here. So all the information and all the evidence is right in my CV. So this might be helpful for you. Additional documents is like research, key research statement. The most important thing is research statement defines what experience you have, what are your interest, and your future research will be. So this is supplementary document. But if you are applying for any open positions, or if you are inquiring about this position, you can attach this document along with cover letter and CV. So background is simply what inspired you in this topic and what are your interests. What do you know about this particular position, and how you are suited for this position? You can mention something like that. Of course, your research experience will be in your skills, and try to give future plans, but relevant to that research that you want to do. You have done this and you want to do further research by using some, specific details. Whenever you write such future details, or whenever you write research statement, don't try to be very exaggerative. Try to be very specific. Very scientific information should be there. Don't make some factual errors that may prevent you to get higher. And of course, do your research before you do these things. And the most important thing is, don't claim that your research and you will solve some great global challenge. The research and solving the problem is a very stepwise process, and don't claim at this level that without having that particular field experience, you will go to solve the global problem. It is very exaggerated. Don't try to do that. Be very specific. Please note that the supplementary document should be around 2 pages, and maximum you can go 3, but don't exceed beyond that. And if you include a graphical abstract of your research statement on your first page, that will be much better, because graphical abstract will give you much more idea what you are talking about. So let's talk about the research summary thing. Research summary is actually a simply document summarizing your research into little bit elaborative way. So based on your experiences, try to list your research summary in order with the latest one first. Of course, include graphical abstract for each experience. Be concise and not mention, but mention the highlighted details about it. provide some key achievements, outcomes, and for example, publications and patents. If you have from that research, try to mention about that, and try to be very creative and try to be very highly presentable. Just remember that if I have like very nice apples, if I just put it in a plastic bag, and on the other hand, the same apple, if I present in a very good presentable box, definitely people will go with that presentable box rather than the plastic bag. So try to sell yourself with the better presentation. I will give you a my research summary here. So this is the particular, of course, this is a little bit, 9 years. So this is a little bit lengthy, but you can make it short. So to provide one graphical abstract. And see here, if I have 10 years of experience, I'm learning new things. Always I try to learn new things, and I have to mention what are the new things I have learned in this lab. So try to provide such information. And at the end, you can present something like this, that visualization of your research output and research expertise. Like, for example, these are the different journals I have published my research work, and I have used word cloud. I have did this manually. There are a lot of free online tools to make this word cloud. So you can present your keywords, what the research expertise you have into this word cloud, and at the end of your research, that means it can be very presentable. Actually, these kind of things I have not copied from something. This is my own thinking, and this is my own creation. So try to be creative a little bit. It may attract some of the recruiters. So the lastly, I would like to tell you that applying for doctoral position is a full-time job, because you have to do research about each professor, each position, and then try to make your or modify your documents according to that. You can see that this little minions end up from the bachelor to emeritus professor level, and you can see that the postdoctoral thing is very aggressive one or very frustrated one. Is simply because up to PhD, we are still learning, and we are still in the education society. We don't know what is the professional life. However, this is the great it's a difficult transition for any happy guy to be into profession. So as I mentioned, having postdoctoral position is very difficult. Even you starting from the search a job is very difficult. But you should be very patient. Treat each application independently. You should be confident. Doesn't matter if you are coming from the small university. You should be confident about yourself and try to be brave. Try to be creative, and never lose your hope and never give up. You should always have never give up attitude. I will tell you one example of my friend who was doing PhD along with me. We graduated at the same time. I got this opportunity, my first postdoctoral opportunity, after like 4 months of my PhD first PhD convocation. However, my friend got too much troubles. He was applying here and there, so many places, but he didn't got the opportunity. It is also part of luck. And I remember he mentioned one day to me after 1.5 years that he applied somewhere around 1,800 applications, and then he got his first breakthrough with a very good university. So you have to be very patient and don't lose your hope. That's the main key thing in that. Just try to be confident and be yourself. So thank you very much for listening to these all talks, and I think now we can entertain some questions. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Mayur, for talking about searching postdoctoral position, which is a very challenging. And before going to our next ending session, I would like to share my screen. As ISRK is organizing different sessions in the scholarship pattern, so our next session will be on 19th of the March, which is about the BRIN Korea Fellowship regarding the MS, PhD, and postdoctoral stream. We will also discuss about some medical courses in Korea as well. So now I would like to invite all of us, if you have any query, any questions regarding anything, you can ask in a chat box or raise your hands. Yeah, Mr. Pavan, you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Hello. Mr. Pavan, you are not audible. If anyone have any questions, please you can write in chat box as well. Actually, I got a question from Mr. Niket. I am assistant professor in animation and the multimedia department. Have done PhD, would like to explore postdoc position in Korea. So can you please answer any this question? Any of our speaker would like to answer this question?
Actually, I'm particularly not working in that field, so I currently do not have any suggestions for him. But I gave some key to find some of the jobs in the online platform, or even he can post in social media. Maybe he will get some information from the people who are working in that field.
Yeah, anyone is having any other questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Myself, Dr. Raju. I am also working in Hanyang University as a postdoc. Actually, my query is like related to like some kind of like domain expertise. See, right now I'm working in mechanical engineering, but I'm basically from the mathematics, actually applied mathematics. So, if you apply for the faculty position, what kind of jobs I can go for? Like either you have to go with the mechanical department or mathematics. I hope my query has been understood, sir. Like, yeah, yes.
Do you mean that you are currently working in like a couple of different fields and you are confused with which field you want to choose for your next?
Yeah, like because in India we feel like we suppose if we are from the mathematics we will be applying to the mathematics, but here I see like some kind of translatory research actually. So when we have a translatory kind of research, then how could in Korea how they will consider? Like, either, depends on the post.
Yeah, I got you what you mean. Actually, compared to India, you know, when you are having graduations from one particular topic, it's very hard to find the jobs in another topic. Even if you want to have permanent job, for example, if you are mathematics, then you can get the jobs only in mathematics department. But in Korea, they are working in more cross-disciplinary areas, so they are okay if you are have a little bit of experience and if you are willing to work in that particular topic, then they don't care too much that what is your basic education. If you have some experience on that topic, they are okay with that. So at the current moment, if you are talking about having jobs in Korea, I would suggest you first check what is your own interest and try to go with that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So in this session, thank you very much to all speakers about the university and professor funded fellowship, how we can approach, how we can write a good letter, and how we can write SOPs and different sections. So in this scenario, like I would like to invite to deliver a vote of thanks by the Dr. Vinayak Parleji. He's a research professor in Yonsei University. Dr. Vinayak Parleji, please.
Thank you very much. Could you hear me? Hello? Yeah. Okay, so very good evening to all of you. So myself, Dr. Vinayak Parli, working as a research professor in Yonsei University, Seoul campus. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this today's interactive session on university and Professor Pandit postdoctoral and PhD scholarship in Korea, organized by our ISRK team. To all the I would like to thank to all the presenters and participants assembled here today for this session. I would like to thank HCGKR and Asian Community News Editor, Mr. Sanjeev G. Ahuja, as media partner for continuous support while publishing scholarship sessions on their newspaper, as well as their encouragement to expand our approach. I'm also thankful to all the community leaders in Korea, as well as ISRK team members, for providing their kind support for publicizing this live interaction session in their contacts. Again, I would like to thank host of today's session, Dr. Prashant, for conducting wonderful session, as well as the presenters, Dr. Mayur, Mr. Tinku, Dr. Prasad, and Ms. Niketa, for sparing their time for ISRK and our Indian students who wish to apply for postdoc and PhD positions in South Korea, while sharing their experiences as well as answering all the questions and queries of the participants. I'm also thankful to all the participants for joining today's session. We will have also a live interaction session, as told by Dr. Prashant, on Brain Career Scholarship on 19th March for Master, MS, PhD, and postdoctoral opportunities in Korea. So looking forward to all of you to see you again. If you have any doubts regarding higher education and research opportunities in Korea, please join us on ISRK, Facebook, Telegram, and other social media for further details. So once again, I would like to say thank you to all of you, and hope we'll meet again for next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinayak.
Yeah.
And thank you, Leleji, for this wonderful event.
Okay, sorry, one minute, one mistake. So I would like to thank our ISRK President, Dr. Lailesh Kumarji, Vice President, Dr. Iqbal Kaji, and also our this ISRK's educational team leader, Dr. Vasudeva Reddy ji, and other ISRK team members for their restless involvement and dedication to make this event successful. So that's all. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vinayak Parleji, for your vote of thanks. So I would like to close this session for today's namaste. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you.
We will see you in our next session. Thank you.